Hello, everyone out there in the podcast and streaming world. My name is Techie.
So,
Welcome to Toss a Coin to Your Podcast, Episode 3.
we're very sorry. This took a very long time to do because God, I reckon everybody did not want Episode 3 to happen. I think life just didn't want Episode 3 to happen. But guess what? It's happening. We're doing it now. We're going to be going over The Witcher Season 1.
Well,
Over
Episode 1 and 2 to catch up, really.
Exactly. We've got to catch up.
All right.
So,
First of all, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready to go. Ready to talk about some Witcher stuff, man. It's not too far away before The Witcher Season 2 finally drops.
You're right. It's not. It really
isn't.
isn't.
Away at all. No, it's not far away at all. And considering, with the amount of Witcher content that we got at WitcherCon, and also from what we've seen so far of Season 2, I am excited, man. I'm excited for new adventures with Geralt.
I'm just excited for Witcher in general.
Yeah, me too, man. It's going to be good. I'm excited for the new content that's coming to the game as well, considering that we're going to be able to play.
Well, let's get into that first, hey, before we start start analyzing the show.
Yeah.
So let's go with some Witcher news. So, first things first. Witcher PS5, next gen upgrades has been delayed till next year.
Yeah, I heard about that. It sucks. A lot of delays have happened with gaming, considering considering with PS5 and that, and still how difficult it is to get a PS5. I'm actually kind of grateful that a lot of these are being delayed, so it gives people more time to actually get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X.
Yes, you're right. Me, on the other hand, though, I have gotten a PS5. I was one of the lucky ones
You're one of them, at least.
Get it on launch day. Just like to
rub that in a little bit.
Twist that knife a little bit.
You know it's not working. You know it doesn't work with me.
It was.
It was. But considering that, I've come over to your house and played a PlayStation 5, I'm happy now, and I know I'll be getting a purchase when I can. Until then, no. My PS4 works, and also with Animal Crossing dropping new content in about 2 weeks, I'm all for it, man.
Me too.
Yeah,
so, we'll continue with some of the new stuff.
Yep.
So, the Witcher producer clarifies author. I can't pronounce his name.
And
Andrzej. I can't. Sorry, I'm going to butcher it. Sapkowski's role in the Netflix series.
Give me a second. Hey, Google. Who is the author of The Witcher?
Andrzej Sapkowski wrote The Witcher.
Yep. So, last week, in an interview, featuring the Witcher producer, was published on Festival. It's a YouTube channel. Though it was held in Polish, our Polish team members were able to translate the interview and uncovered an interesting detail about his role in the show. Back before Season 1 was released on Netflix, showrunner Lauren Histrich and Sapkowski himself both claim that the author prefers to distance himself from the series, providing Histrich and her team full creative freedom. While this is still true, it seems the dynamic has changed ever so slightly, as the author now requests to be updated on the story before each season drops. Pretty much it says he wants to be informed about what is happening so there is no surprises, which makes sense. As the author of the show, though, you would really want to know what the story is for the world you created. Don't you agree?
I agree. I remember when he was not on board for a lot of what CD Projekt Red was doing for The Witcher. Wasn't there a time where he was suing them? I remember.
I think so, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people who love the game series, who also love the books, were on the side of CD Projekt Red and literally were like, "Hey, why are you suing them? They're making a game based on your work that could have been easily unnoticed." Imagine that. Imagine if CD Projekt Red had never actually done the Witcher series. There would, I don't think he's.
I don't think the show would be here if it wasn't because of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's it literally wouldn't have happened without the game, and the game wouldn't have happened without the book. And I'm glad that the author now is on board for the television series and for the games as well. I'm glad he's on board. I really am. I know for a fact that The Witcher means a lot to a lot of people. I mean, for goodness sake, why do you think I cosplay The Witcher? Why do you think I cosplay Geralt of Rivia? He's a character that I resonate with a lot, and for goodness sake, I love him to death. He's one of my favorite characters, and he does so much justice for a lot of people who just love fantasy and love that world. It's so different to Lord of the Rings. It's so different to, the Chronicles of Narnia. It's so different to Aragon and all those fantasy novels that came out. It's good to have a different fantasy world that you can always go into.
You're right.
They can't be all the same. If they're all the same, it'd be boring. If Lord of the Rings had the same type of stuff that The Witcher had, it'd be boring as all hell. Also, copyright disaster or left, right, and center would be. But I'm glad that he is on board. I am loving the lights. I'm really loving those lights you got. I love that as well. All I've got is the one light here, but you know what? It suits my mood for my room, and I like it too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, Witcher. So going back to the previous one, so The Witcher 3 is free. Again, free. Next gen upgrade has been delayed until 2022.
I think it's fair. No, a lot of big games have been delayed until 2022. Horizon Zero Dawn, another big game that comes out. The Witcher. There's a bunch of other games that have been delayed to 2022. A lot of movies as well. So, and this is just one of them.
The spruced up version was announced in September 2020, bringing modern touches like ray tracing, speedier loading times, which is good because it's a pain loading, and general visuals and technical improvements. The original date was slated for sometime this year, but as 2021 comes to a close, things haven't been looking hopeful. CD Projekt Red has now confirmed that it's pushing the release date back to sometime in mid-2022, along with the next-gen version of Cyberpunk 2077 for consoles. Based on so this is from CD Projekt Red. Based on recommendations supplied by teams supervising the development of both games, we decided to postpone their releases until 2022. A statement from the company on Twitter read, "Our current target for Cyberpunk is the first quarter of 2022." And
which I think is very fair that they're going to do that, considering,
it's their newest game.
It's their newest game, also just how much of a disaster launch was. I'm glad that they're focusing a lot of efforts on fixing it, getting it up and running.
Yeah.
Especially for last-gen consoles.
And second quarter for 2022 for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Apologies for the extended wait, but we want to make it right.
Yeah. Considering, that they're going to focus on Cyberpunk stuff first, which I think is very admirable. I know a lot of Witcher fans are going to be a little bit upset, but again, this is their baby that worked on for ages alongside The Witcher. They want to focus on the new game first, and then they can do the new update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the PS5 free update in next year. That way it gives them more time to actually get Cyberpunk up to par with what it needs to be. And I'm very happy for that. I'm very grateful for CD Projekt Red. I know that I'm still a bit disappointed in them considering the release of Cyberpunk 2077. Look, it's the same thing that, yes, I'm not going to let them forget that. Same thing with Supernova as well. What Supernova did is horrible. And yes, I said last night we're going to Supernova, and I'm going to give CD Projekt another chance because they're actually willing to admit
I think too, look, they did admit that they messed up too, but people do forget that there were a lot of bugs in Witcher 3 when it first got released as well.
Exactly.
And now look at it. It's not as bad as that, but there still were. And it ended up being Game of the Year.
It ended up being Game of the Year, even though it got removed from the PlayStation Store for
no, it's not Cyberpunk. Witcher.
Ended up being Game of the Year. It's literally become Game of the Year. And it still is.
And that was even with the bugs. But again, different type of bugging. But I'm interested to see what Cyberpunk 2077 upgrade is going to look like.
I hope that it actually can make the game
be what it was supposed to be.
Be what it was supposed to be, and actually run properly on last gen console. I really want it to. That's the goal. If I can go out right now go out and buy Cyberpunk 2077 for PS4, not just PS4 Pro, it needs to work for base PS4, then I will
I've heard that there's been a lot of updates and it's working a lot better than what it was. Still gonna have a few, but I've heard that it's a lot better.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad as what it was when I first played it. When I first got
launch
the
day,
first copy for it, launch day was a disaster because it was just broken. Even on next gen cons, they were still having problems. Even on PC, they were still having problems.
Yep. It was.
I just think that at the start of it with CD Projekt Red's handling of Cyberpunk 2077's release, they really didn't know what they were doing, or they know what they were doing, but they didn't realize how bad the game was broken. Or they just knew about it and just allowed to release it anyway. And the executives even...
But again, though, it wasn't their fault, in my opinion.
No, it was the executives.
It was the executives, but at the same time, it was the pressure by the general public.
Yeah. And
the death threats, and I think it's our fault as well. But we've mentioned that before. This is Witcher. It's not Cyberpunk. But...
Even though there is Witcher content in Cyberpunk 2077, which they might put more into.
Well, they actually did hint at Cyberpunk in The Witcher. In Witcher 3.
That would be cool.
Ciri foresaw the future. Remember?
Yeah. That's right. I remember.
Yep. They were teasing Cyberpunk back then, yeah.
Yes, they were. They were teasing it back then. Now, I love The Witcher. I have the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on my PlayStation. I haven't played it in a while. I need to get back into it. I'm annoyed that I won't be able to get the... I don't know. Can you get free stuff for PS4? Is that gonna? I believe that was for PS4 stuff, like the skin for Henry Cavill.
I'm not sure.
I hope so. That would be good, because I have the game already, and I would love to be able to, play it and play in his skin. That'd be cool.
That would be nice. The next topic, and this is something that we can all get excited for. We've got 51 days, 20 hours, 30 minutes, and 50 seconds until Season 2 drops.
Which is not far away. It's literally...
a month.
It's November.
Really?
Yeah, about a month. December.
Just over a month.
It finally releases. Hey, yeah, just over a month.
But continuing with that, The Witcher Season 3 to enter production in early 2022.
Yep. So they're doing it next year. They're going to be in production for Season 3. They've been greenlit to do Season 3, which I'm very excited for.
Thanks to the newest listing on Production Weekly, we now know that Season 3 of The Witcher is planned to enter production in the first quarter of 2022. But bear in mind that production schedules are never solid and are always subject to change, especially in a post-COVID world. Nevertheless, at least now we approximately know the production window and when Netflix wants to get things underway. The Witcher 03 with mysterious monsters.
You reckon with the end of Season 2, do you reckon they'll tease the Wild Hunt and then we'll have to deal with the repercussions of the Wild Hunt in The Witcher Season 3, which...
ironically will be Witcher 3.
Will be Witcher 3, which I think is actually perfect. If they do that, then I'm all for it. Because again...
I don't know. It's been a while now since I've read the books. But they're following the books. They're not following games, they're following the books. So, we shall see. But, yeah, it looks like scheduled to begin in production the first quarter of 2022. So that's exciting. It's not going to... I don't think it's going to be... We're going to have as long of a wait in between the Season 2 and Season 3 as we have had.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. One more thing. This is for the prequel, Blood Origin. We're getting a certain cameo. We're getting an appearance in it.
Is it Geralt?
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Oh, fucking Jaskier.
Yeah.
Not even a surprise.
Yes,
He's gonna be in a... How, though? If it's like set eons about the first Witcher.
Yep, but it could be like... So we can confirm that Jaskier will make an appearance as a narrator, telling the story of what transpired during Blood Origin.
Okay, Yeah, so Blood Origin, I'm actually interested because it's about the first ever Witcher, the
Mm-hmm.
first one. Yeah,
So
I'm
we aren't
actually
certain of
curious.
his exact screen time. However, perhaps this is something reminiscent of old Bilbo Baggins and Peter Jackson's The Hobbit trilogy, meaning
Hmm.
his appearances would not exactly be crucial but memorable. What if, if he is a narrator, there are, during cutscenes he explains things, which would be
Yeah,
great, and it would kind of be reminiscent of Witcher 3 in the loading screens.
yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Excuse me.
It's
I'm
exciting.
just trying to figure out who's the name of the first Witcher. Who's the first ever
We
Witcher?
don't know. That's the thing. This has never been told before. That's why this is exciting because this has never been told before.
So dead set. I'm just trying to find out. Um, just trying to find out who the first Witcher is, and doesn't really say online here. So
No,
this is going to
because
be interesting.
it's never been done before, which is why
Yeah,
this
it's never been
series is
done
so
before.
exciting because it's a whole new world. It's a whole new ball game. It's fantastic, and I love it. I love the idea of this.
It's a really good idea, a perfect idea in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, episode 1. What is the title for episode 1? I can't remember.
Think it's the butcher. I think it's the butcher of Blaviken.
I think it is 2.
I really, yeah, I think it is the butcher of Blaviken because that's literally where he, where he literally kills all those guys in Blaviken. That's
The
why
end.
he's
The
banned.
end's beginning.
The end's the beginning. Okay.
The end's beginning.
I'm just on.
Yeah, the
Yep.
end's
So the
beginning.
first episode, the end's beginning. Yep. Hostile
Directed
townsfolk
by
and a
Alex
cunning mage.
Sakharov, written by Lauren
Yep.
Schmidt Hisrich. Original release date December 20th, 2019.
Yep.
I can't remember. I can't believe that was December. I swear it was October when they dropped it. I swear to God it was October. The first season is based off The Last Wish and The Sword of Destiny, which are the first 2 books in the series that were prequels to the first book. Really, they were kind of short stories. So all the way up to episode 4 is based on The Last Wish.
Yep.
So the end's beginning. Following Geralt of Rivia's battle with Kikamora in 1231, he enters the town of Blaviken and meets Renfrey, a cursed princess turned bandit hunted by the wizard Stregobor, who thinks her evil for her birth during an eclipse. Stregobor lures Geralt to his hideout, seeking to hire him to kill Renfrey, but Geralt refuses. Renfrey later offers Geralt a counter-proposal, but he refuses with an ultimatum: leave or die. She feigns agreement, but upon waking up the next morning, Geralt realizes Renfrey will not stop until Stregobor is dead, and he rushes to stop her. After killing her men, he fights and fatally wounds Renfrey, whose dying words tell him of a girl in the forest who is his destiny forever. Stregobor arrives to take Renfrey's body for autopsy. When Geralt opposes, the townsfolk force him to leave, urged on by Stregobor. In 1263, the kingdom of Sintra is conquered by its southern neighbor, Nilfgaard. Princess Cerelia, also known as Ciri, is sent away by her grandmother, Queen Calanthe, to escape to find Geralt. Cerelia is captured by Nilfgaardian officer, what's his name? Kara? But the sight of the burning city and castle trigger her powers, allowing her to escape. So,
because she has elder blood in her. I was reading about her. She is one of the most powerfulest witches because she does become a witcher. Later, if you read the book and you played the game in that, she becomes one of the most powerfulest witches
She has the ability to bend time and space later on when she actually fully develops her powers and she matures. She
Yep.
becomes more powerful than any witcher known to man, even more powerful than Geralt.
Yep.
Geralt is still Geralt's extremely powerful, but she becomes 10 times more than that.
That's right. Now, let's talk about the first scene. I think it was a fantastic opening scene to really get yourself into that world. It really just goes, bang, okay, this is the world we're in. This is who he is. This is what he does.
It was freaking amazing. I love that opening scene because it's straight up. It doesn't sugarcoat it. It doesn't try to lean you in slowly. It's just like, yep, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a freaking monster hunter. Deal with it.
Yep.
And it gives off the atmosphere of the show and the cinematography for it. The lighting, the CGI was really
CGI
good.
was
I
good.
enjoyed it. Yeah, it was
especially
really
for
good.
an opening scene.
Yeah, for an opening scene, you really get invested in it. You're like, whoa, holy crap! You just slay the fuck out of that monster.
It literally just sets up the world, and I love the way it was done.
I also really liked when he had to accidentally kill that poor deer.
I know.
That was really sad, but he did warn him. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, buddy."
Yeah, he did.
He did warn him.
Now, what did you think about him walking around? And because this is the first time we actually kind of meet Roach.
Yes, I like
coming
Roach.
into the city.
Roach, he's straight up doing exactly what Geralt will do. Henry Cavill and his mannerisms for Geralt. The man did his research, in my opinion.
He's a gamer, really man. He loves this series. Even before he was cast.
Yeah. Remember when he was cast as Superman? He literally missed the first call with Zack Snyder because he was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Which I still think is hilarious to this day. But he has said that he loves gaming. He loves The Witcher. This is one of his favorite games alongside, Warhammer and stuff like that. And he was so excited he finally got to play this role. And I am 100% on board for him being, Geralt of Rivia. I don't think any other actor...
He's born to play this role.
He's born to play this role. Same thing with Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, which again, Henry Cavill has said that when he looked up inspiration for being Geralt of Rivia and, being this very serious character, he went to Viggo Mortensen's freaking Aragorn, which again, I love that because it's another book series influencing another book series on television compared to what the movie did. And I don't know if Viggo has seen The Witcher. I really hope he has because, he has that guy. He just turned 63 a couple days ago.
Yeah, he did.
Viggo is 63 years old now, and he has inspired so many different actors and just inspired so many different cultures. Also, just inspired so many different people, be this amazing character. Even though The Hobbit came out, the Lord of the Rings came out. Well, hang on. Hey, Google. Okay, Google. How long ago did The Lord of the Rings release?
7,244 days.
There you go.
Give me days. Hang on. How many years ago did The Lord of the Rings release?
According to Wikipedia, The Lord of the Rings is a series of 3 epic fantasy adventure films directed by Peter Jackson, based on the novel written by J.R.R. Tolkien. The films are subtitled The Fellowship of the Ring, 2001, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King.
He did those films in 3 years.
Yeah, he did.
I did not know this. I thought Lord of the Return of the King came out in 2005 or something like that. 2003. So he did it in 2001, 2002, and then 2003. So he filmed them back to back. Once he did a film a year. That's insane.
So, the next scene is the bar scene.
Which I felt like I went to on my April LARP weekend when I went away. I felt like that was a real bar scene. And it felt like I walked into... Because when you play The Witcher 3, you go, the tavern you go into, it felt just like that. Straight up.
It did.
It felt like that. And it was really cool how he just wanted a drink. And the bartender didn't want to, refuse service him because he's a witcher. He's a mutant.
And as we know from Nightmare of the Wolf,
They're mutants.
They're
They're
all
all
hated.
hated. Anyone. They're all hated, even though they're just doing exactly. They're actually looking out for people and killing monsters.
yep, they're here to save people. Really.
Yep. And this is the first scene we see Renfrey in. We meet
Yep.
Renfrey here. Yep, absolutely. We meet Renfrey here, and she offers to buy you a drink and that. And then it's very you can feel
At this time,
the tension.
did you think that Renfrey was like a princess of some sort?
I didn't think she was a princess. I thought she was just a bar wench at first.
Mm.
But she did have a
I
dagger
just
and
thought-
everything. She had a sword.
Yeah.
And,
For me, I thought she was more of a princess just by she stands out more than anyone else.
yeah, she does. She really did.
Her clothing,
I-
everything, the lighting on
Yeah.
her. I'm just going through it now, really.
Yeah, she was really, such an interesting character when you first meet her for the first time. You're like, something's up with this lady. She's not telling everybody the truth. I'm curious to know more about her.
I understand why they killed her off. Spoiler,
Yeah.
by the way. But at the same time,
Go
I
watch The
really wish we could have had more time with her. I really
Yeah.
liked her character.
I don't think if Geralt had not stopped her, I think she would have not stopped.
No,
She
She
would
wouldn't have
kept going.
stopped.
Considering that she tried to take on Geralt, which, okay, Frozen, do never not take on a witch. Don't ever try to fight a Witcher. They're insanely powerful and they're a better swordsman than you. They have hundreds of years of experience. Same thing with Vesemir as well. Unless you're a magically talented like a Witcher, and you're just an ordinary guy trying to take on a Witcher who is a skilled swordsman, especially how good Geralt was. I mean, we'll get to that scene soon.
Yeah, we will.
Anyway, I really would have loved her to stay around too, but I can understand why they killed her off because she would have been a huge hazard, in my opinion.
Yes, she would have.
Yeah.
All right. So the next scene.
We'll go
I
next.
love this shot. I love the shot of Roach and how he's just got black blood dripping from the side of him.
And he's so used to it because he's probably done this a million times. I really liked how they just incorporate a lot of the, you see aspects of the game there, you see aspects of the book there, but you also see some aspects of realism. For instance, everyone asked in the series, why has he not got two swords on his back? He doesn't have a silver sword. It's actually not true. He does have a silver sword. It's not actually on his back all the time. That's just the game. He actually keeps it on a pack on his horse. He doesn't need the silver sword all the time. Why walk around with two swords on your back? It's not really good way. So he just keeps one sword there, and it's his steel sword, and he only has the silver sword there if he's going hunting for a monster. If he's in a town, why would he need a silver sword? It's just what the game has. So you got to separate the game from the series because the series is based off the book, not the game.
Yeah. Now, I love this. Straight away, like we're at about 8 minutes in, and we get the classic. Come on, Roach.
Come on, Roach. I really loved Henry Cavill's voice. He's
He
really got
nails
that
the
rough-
voice.
He nails the voice perfectly. Do you remember when they did the first camera test for his Geralt? When you see him walk the camera, a lot of people had a bit of an issue. I had some small little issues. The wig kind of didn't look a bit fake to me, in opinion. But then again, it was just the first camera test, and then they improved it. They made the wig look rough. They made it look like real hair. The cool thing about with Henry Cavill is he stayed in that whole costume the entire time when they were filming. He even slept in it, for God's sake.
Yeah. Now,
Wig
I
and all.
love this. So, oh shit, let's go forward a little bit. So, a Striga, a werewolf, she-wolf, that's not a thing. So you've killed the rest. I think that makes you a hero. Is what this little girl says. My mother says you're the offspring of foul sorcery. A diabolical creation, a filthy degenerate born of hell. Have you ever been to hell? I've never been. I've never even left Blaviken because my mother's never left Blaviken. And if it's good enough for Labouche, then it's good enough for Marilka. I love that. Pretty much, they are walking to
Strigabar's place. Yeah.
the Strigabar.
And
Now,
it's interesting.
What do you think of just? I loved here as well the part where he goes to the door and realizes the magic.
Yeah, I like that.
Goes full
He's very
not full Witcher state, but like his Witcher sense.
Yeah, his Witcher sense kicked in because he's aware of magic, which is very good. I really love that aspect of him just being, the Witcher. He's supposed to be. Witches are sensitive to magic. They know about it. It's how they hunt. It's how they hunt down magical monsters and witches and that. Considering with how many monsters that probably Geralt has slain, like how old is he in The Witcher? I think he's in his the fair age, even though his age doesn't show it, because he ages much slowly compared to a human.
It's beautiful scenery when he goes into Strigabor's house.
It switches
place.
the camera. It switches the lighting from this kind of grayish overtone to a very bright looking overtone.
Colorful.
And colorful. It's magic. It's magic.
Well, it changes. He looks different.
He looks different. Yeah.
His hair's straight. It's tied up.
How do you feel about the match? How do you feel about Geralt's outfit?
I thought you were going to say, how do I feel about the naked women in the background? I was going to say, great.
Well, that too. I'm glad that it got a mature rating, because then, it
had to.
It had to. How do you feel like Geralt swearing?
Fuck.
That was cool. I really like that they just let him swear straight up. They're just like, yeah, he can swear. Why? Fuck you. That's why. I like this just straight up. They tell him that I just like how brutally honest he is. The entire series, he's just brutally honest. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He just tells the truth straight up, or it just mocks people about it. He doesn't really like to be happy or he doesn't like to try to show that he's scared or anything, because I don't think he's scared of anything. I really don't think he's scared of anything.
No, I don't think he is.
Except Ciri. He is scared of Ciri.
He is scared of Ciri.
Because he knows how powerful
reason.
she can be. With good reason, because of how powerful she is. She has elder blood in her, meaning she is one of the most powerful beings. I mean, when you read about her history, when she matures, when she gets older, she has the power to bend space and time. Like, that's more powerful than the Wild Hunt. That's more powerful than the Witcher. That's more powerful than any wizard or witch or anything like that, or sorcerer. It's insane. It's probably more powerful than Yennefer, which would make Yennefer really jealous.
Which we'll get to her character very soon.
We'll get to her character very, very soon.
Okay, so after we've been from Strigabor's place, we go to what's the name? Sintra. We go to Sintra.
Yeah, we go to Sintra, where Princess Cirilla comes from. Now, you'll notice as well in this series as well that
she's undercover.
She's undercover, meaning she's outside undercover, because, again, she likes to do that, which I can understand. If you're a princess, you want to get out there and not get really...
There was one shot, I just paused it, when she grabs the bread from one of the boys.
Yeah.
Swear to God, I just saw Greta Thunberg.
Ah! Oh my God. Okay, that's funny. I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I love that she can hone in and hearing that the hooves of the horses are coming straight for her.
Yeah. She's aware of that, which I think is really cool.
What do you think of her outfit here, though? Like the brown.
I don't mind her outfit. I don't mind.
I really liked it. And I like that they kind of kept her character kind of hidden in this point. It wasn't until pretty much the horses show up and they kind of collect her.
Exactly.
they didn't want her to be fully shown yet until the series was,
No, until like literally the next shot, and you go,
till the next shot.
oh, okay, you're
Yeah.
Siri, you're Siri,
Yeah,
you're a
Siri.
princess.
Mhm.
Yep. I loved the relationship between the king and her.
Yeah, same here. I like the relationship because he's got a good relationship with.
He was that like fun type of person, whereas
Yeah, he was.
the queen was this more mature,
Strict
and like you could just feel it.
You could absolutely just friggin' feel it. And
the boredom too, the boredom of watching this all happen. He just looks so bored, and so does Siri.
He does. So does Siri. She doesn't want to do this, and neither does he. But they got to do it anyway because they got to keep up. They've got to keep up character. They got to be really happy with it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like her. She seems like the type of person that's adventurous, that's happy, just wants to keep to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this scene in particular is when the queen is pretty much knighting these men.
Yeah.
And they're just standing there, and they're just like, can we get this shit over and done with? It's me after a long day at work.
Literally, you after a lot. When you get home from work, you're just like, I don't want to do anything. But then your parents are like, yeah, you have to do this. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Leave me alone.
All right. So then we go back to Strugaba and Geralt. And it's pretty much given us the whole plot for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the Curse of the Black Sun? First full eclipse in 1200 years. It marked the imminent return of Limit, demon goddess of the night sent to exterminate the human race. According to the wise mage Etibal, Lilith's path was to be prepared by 60 women wearing gold crowns, who'd fill the river valleys with blood. And then Geralt, doesn't rhyme.
Doesn't rhyme.
All good predictions. I studied the girls born around the Black Sun, and I found horrendous internal mutations among them. I tried to cure them, locked them in towers for safekeeping, but the girls always died. Pretty much, Geralt is just interrogating them.
Yeah, he's straight up interrogating them without interrogating him. And this friggin' Strugaba is just telling him straight up. And you can just see the look on his face. He doesn't want to be there. He just wants to go do his job.
Yeah. So they were autopsied, of course, to confirm my suspicions. But eliminating these women was the lesser evil. They could have drowned entire kingdoms in blood. If you'd been alive during Falca's rebellion, see what I saw. Innocent women are dead. And that's when Strucker was like, well, fuck, you're not wrong. But not Renfrey, the beautiful one. She's after you. Daughter of King Frederfork, I delivered the princess myself in the middle of the afternoon. In pitch black, under the black sun, so she's cursed. Do you consider me a full witcher? Do you think I did not conduct research? Renfrey was acutely... What was that? Acutely... acutely affected.
Yeah, acutely affected. Because she was acutely affected because she is literally cursed. And if, I swear to God, if she had stayed alive, I really think she would have been such a burden for Geralt to deal with constantly. Because when you watch their fight scene, which we were getting into, it's fucking intense, man. She does not let up. But
again, yes, she does have experience, but I still think she's no match for Geralt, in my opinion.
No. So, and I love this. He's literally now telling the story about Renfrey. So her stepmother, Aradia, told me she tortured a canary.
Jesus.
Strangled two puppies, even gouged out her maid's eyes with a comb.
That's
I admit what
So
happened next was
charmingly.
not ideal, but with the lives of Aradir's own children on the line, we had to act, which is fair. So I dispatched
Yeah.
someone to follow Renfrey into the woods. We found him in the bush. Renfrey's antique brooch jammed into his ear.
Jesus. Fuck
After
shit
that,
was-
I organized a manhunt to find the princess, but, hey, she was gone.
Yeah, she literally was
years.
gone, and
Until she reappeared, robbing and murdering merchants on the roads of Mahakam. Impaled them on the sticks at first, but soon she picked up sword skills. And now no man can defy her, it said. She's resistant to magic. That's impossible in humans, not muted ones. She's chased me for years, bent on revenge, and now she's tracked me here just as you arrived. So, yeah, I love that he's just pretty much given this whole backstory on her.
yeah, straight up that she's that she's not human, even though she is human. She's not a normal human being. She has gifts. She's got. I mean, the scary part is if she managed to find Strigabar, what can Strigabar do? She's resistant to magic. What can he do? And she picked up sword skills. Yeah, she picked up sword skills. All right, Jesus Christ, she manages to keep up with Geralt.
Let's get to the next scene. So we're back at the at the palace in Sintra. They're having a party, like their dinner type of party, and pretty much we get told through all of this that they're about to go to war the next day.
Yeah. They're about to go war. They were going to war with Nilfgaard.
Yes.
Literally. And it didn't go out very well.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Nilfgaard were fucking ready, and if you know about Nilfgaard in the books, they are not a pushover. They are literally one of the most powerful kingdoms. Eventually, they become probably one of the most dangerous.
I love the war scene. It was, for me, it really showed the violence that we get in this and the setup for what will happen.
Yeah.
The king
They did
in
not
particular.
sugarcoat. Yeah, they don't sugarcoat it for they don't try and hide all the things or sugarcoat it or ease you into it. They throw you in headstrong into just how violent this show will be.
Let's get into that. There's another scene between the war with Renfrey, but we'll come back to that one. But the war, holy shit! The amount of fucking people that like extras they would have got for this.
Yeah, they got a lot. They got like hundreds of extras and that, and also the amount of beheadings that you see. Christ,
Not just beheadings.
No, beheadings, getting friggin' stabbed, getting chopped to pieces, getting set on fire, and just everything. It's just bad.
We're forgetting about the king with the arrow right through the eye.
Yeah, he gets an arrow right through his friggin' eye. Yeah, I remember that. Literally got an arrow straight through the eye as well. Also, the armor too, the weapons, it looked really good. For a television series, they got a big fucking budget to manage to do this stuff.
Mm.
And it looked really good, and I loved it. And like I said, I'm keen to see more of it with season 2 coming out on December 17th.
So then, look, we're going to skip over some of this because we still have episode 2 to talk about.
We do.
So, pretty much, we find out that...
I reckon what we should do, sorry to interrupt, what we
You're
should do is not go by scene. We should just go about some of the important parts for every single season, for every single episode. So we can, keep on track and not spend a lot of time talking about every single scene.
I think we can discuss that later.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just... Normally it would be fine, but to do this, but because we've got 2 episodes to cover this time around, we got to catch up.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So we pretty much find out that, so the king's died. Queen's like hella pissed.
Yeah, she's hella pissed, alright. Doesn't she literally organized to literally just full on charge ahead.
Pretty much. Then we
Yeah.
find out that she's significantly injured when back in the bed at the kingdom.
She's messed up. She got cut to ribbons.
Yeah, she's like completely fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. She doesn't look healthy.
Now we're forgetting about Massack. Massack,
Yes.
I love his character in
I did
this.
too.
The guy who
Massack
portrayed
was
him.
great.
His name is, where is it? Adam Levy. Nails the character. He is fantastic.
Yep. So he was a skilled, intelligent druid. He was a good friend and advisor to Queen Calantha of Sintra. He was really good. I liked him. He was a druid, so he's really good. I liked him. He was played by
Adam Levy.
Adam Levy. Yeah.
The fact that he's holding up a big ass invisible shield.
Yeah, I noticed that he held it up. You know, I remember
For
when
quite a
Siri
while.
I remember when Siri asked him,
How long will it hold? As long as I hold.
As long as I hold.
And yeah, Calanthe is just, she's fucked. She is absolutely fucked. Then we go to a scene where we pretty much, I'm going to be brutally honest, Geralt fucks Renfrey.
Yeah, which I think is a really bad move.
Well, she's a succubus of some sort, isn't she?
I think she is a succubus of some sort. Yeah, I agree.
Then we go into the night at Sintra, and Nilfgaard finally got into Sintra. And this is where things start to go fucking downhill. Majorly. So the Queen has pretty much told Ciri to run, leave her, and then you start seeing people going around to different rooms, giving them vials of obviously poison to drinks to pretty much sacrifice their life. Now, one shot in particular is when the Queen comes to the window about to commit suicide.
Yeah, they all commit suicide. It's
the way her outfit looks like Jesus. Just saying, when she's standing in the window.
Yeah. When she's standing in the window, she just looks like Jesus. I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Is this a series? Is this a Jesus reference? Okay, all right then. Like everyone, all of the royals, they all commit suicide. But she's like, nah, you guys can all die a silent, slow death. I'm just gonna jump out a window because I feel like it. Everyone has poisoned himself and dying very slowly, but she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna jump out a window because that's a quick way to die.
So then Geralt wakes up after that and notices that Renfrey's gone.
Yeah.
So he goes back to town.
Goes back to town and oh boy.
This is where shit gets real.
Shit hits the fucking fan, alright. This is my favorite scene. I remember when I watched this for the first time when it released.
Now, I have to say, this isn't the first time we've seen this scene.
No, we've seen this scene in the trailers, and now
not just the trailers. We've seen this scene, one, in the books. Two, there was already a live action adaptation of The Witcher. It was a German film, I think, wasn't it?
It was weird.
It was
very weird.
Fucking weird, but
that was weird. I have not seen
this is actually identical to that scene.
Yeah, but I think they did it better in this series because,
of course, they did.
Henry Cavill actually did sword practice. Though I see on YouTube a kind of sword instructors say that it's not accurate. It's a fantasy novel, guys. Come on. But anyway, this is my favorite scene, because it just shows just how much of an efficient swordsman Geralt really is. This guy literally hits an arrow, crossbow bolt in midair, just knocks it out of the way.
And in slow motion too.
In slow motion too, which was really good. I'm just like, dude, did you just fucking do that? Holy crap. Techie, do you want me to screen share that scene?
No, we should be right.
Should be right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't want to get
That's right.
copyrighted.
Yeah, that is true. Actually,
Just
yeah.
Geralt beheads this dude.
Yeah, just beheads this guy. But the way he does it, I like the way he manipulates his sword around. He doesn't just keep his sword on the handle. He brings it around and flips it around, going behind his arm and then blocking and just taking other people's way. It was very, choreographed perfectly. And it looked very seamless. It looked very fluid, and I fucking loved it.
It looks like it was
He just
one
walked through this
one shot
one shot.
take.
It was just one shot. Yes, it was a one shot take, and I like that they keep it on that one shot. I like that he uses a bit of his magic as well, which is really cool. I love how he just showed how much of a fucking badass he is, and he doesn't need to wear armor doing it. Yeah, he didn't wear armor. He just wore a simple shirt and pants, and just walked right through these guys like, well, fuck all. Pushed right past them and just murdered them all, which I think is probably the best thing ever.
So this is interesting.
Sorry, I love that
So
scene so much.
the girl
What's that?
that was at the beginning of this, and then the one that Renfrey holds captive, right? I'm just looking through her IMDb.
Yep.
So her name is Mia McKenna Bruce, or Mia Bruce
Yep.
McKenna. Her most
Yep.
recent stuff, she is in pre-production for Vampire Academy, playing Mia Karp.
Oh, that's right. They're doing the TV series, right?
Yeah, so she's in Vampire Academy.
Yeah.
She was also in a thing called The Rebels in 2019. I think she's a little good actress, and I actually can't wait to see more stuff that she'll be doing later on down the track, especially with Vampire Academy.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Now we pretty much discussed everything from where we went off right at the end. How Geralt kills Renfrey. She tells him in the final breath about Ciri. Then Struggle comes, tries to take her body, and
Geralt warns him, "Do not take the body. I will take it."
And then we have to talk about. Did it not show it there? Yes, there it is. Ciri's on the back of the horse. The Nilfgaardian guy that pretty much killed the king falls off his horse.
Yes.
There's a bit of a struggle, and Ciri does her scream.
Uses it.
And separates the fucking ground.
Yeah, that's how powerful she is. She has the power to literally cause the fucking ground to split in half, which I'm still to this day blown away by that. That was insane.
Yeah,
I was straight up just showed her, don't fuck with me, otherwise I will cause the ground to break.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
That was so cool, because it really just shows yourself how powerful she will become. That's what, and also the Queen said, she's the reason why Nilfgaardian attacked, because they know, they're afraid that a girl in Sindri literally has so much more power than any other sorcerer or sorceress that they have. Meaning she will become that insanely powerful, she'll rival any of them.
All right, and that's the end of episode 1.
And it had a really good ending too. The song choices as well. The soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, let's talk about that before we hit to episode 2. I'm surprised that we didn't. I mean, there's a lot to do in episode 1, but I'm surprised that we didn't see anything to do with Yennefer in episode 1.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised about too. That we didn't see anything of Yennefer until I think it's episode 2 we start seeing
episode 2 is where we start off. We start off at this farm, don't we?
Yeah, we start up at a farm, and we literally see Yennefer way before she becomes sorceress that we know. We see Yennefer,
the hunchback, and not looking the beautiful goddess that she is.
Yeah, she literally is a hunchback. She gets transformed by magic. She literally has her uterus ripped out of her, and it's not very pleasant. We'll get
that's
into
like
that.
episode 3. We'll get to that in like episode 3.
Yeah, we'll get that to episode 3. But she's, her family her father
Just fucking sold her.
freaking just sells her, and I'm like, dude, you're a dick.
Oh,
You
he
really
was a
are.
dick though. So
But
this
she ended up
episode
having a-
is called 4 Marks. So in 1206, Hunchback Yennefer from Venneberg of Eden is sold to Sire de Vries by her father. She is taken
Yes.
to Arezusa. I have trouble fucking pronouncing these names. For training in magic, but finds difficulty in the practice. She makes a friendship with Istred, even revealing her quarter elf heritage, a cause of her deformity. Unbeknownst to either, Tessia and Stregobor were using Yennefer and Istred, respectively, to spy on each other. Later, Yennefer witnesses Tessia turning 3 students into eels to act as conduits, powering Arezusa with magic. In 1240, Geralt is hired to investigate grain thefts in Posada, and is followed by Yaskia the Bard. They encounter a Sylvan named Torque, who knocks them unconscious and takes them to his mountain cave. There, Geralt meets Filavandrel, the Elven King, and urges he leads his people to better lands after being banished by the humans. Instead of killing them, Filavandrel frees Geralt and Yaskia, taking the witch's words to heart. In 1263, Sorella encounters Dara, a boy in the woods, who guides her to a refugee camp. Dara returns to save her as the camp is attacked by Kair's forces, and she later realizes Dara is an elf.
Yes. So this is where she escapes to the forest,
Yes.
and just she discovers more about herself, about her destiny, and who she's meant to become, and that why Nilfgaard are after her, and that. But we find out later more of that in future episodes. Season 1's been an interesting series so far. It was a very good, interesting series, and I enjoyed it a lot.
It's a very slow one, but by the end
Yes.
of the season, it
makes
it's
up
where
for
it really peaks.
Yes.
This is also the episode where she's hiding in that refugee camp, about to go to sleep, and then they get attacked. And then this little, I think, dwarf person comes in and just starts stabbing that mother right in the back. God knows how many times.
Yes, stabbed her how many times?
That, for me, I was actually kind of like, oh, fuck. That was confronting for me.
That was quite brutal for me. I was just like, dude, this is insane. Speaking of which yourself, I'm just fixing up my pendant.
So good.
Just fixing up my pendant. Just fixing it up and giving it a nice new overcoat, because I'm going to be wearing Geralt on Sunday of Supernova.
Woo!
And I have a series.
What did you think of this episode?
I liked it. It was good because it showed more of the turmoil that Ciri has to face now that she's not in the palace anymore. She's not with her mother and stuff like that. Was it her mother or her auntie? I think it was her mother.
No, we find out more about who her mother was.
Yeah.
In episode 4.
That's right. It was and we find out more. She has to face turmoil and she has to face a lot of hardships being out in the real world, and that. I really loved how we learn more about how Yennefer became, this great and powerful sorceress that she does become.
Yeah.
Find out that she didn't have a really good growing up in Venneberg. It was a good episode. We've seen a lot more of Geralt hunting. We meet Jaskier as well, which is really cool because we don't see Jaskier in the first episode. I don't think. No, we meet Jaskier in the second episode, and we get to hear the famous.
No reason to really see Jaskier in the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. And we get to hear the famous song "Toss a Coin to a Witcher" for the first ever time.
Witcher. Hence the name of the show.
Yeah, toss a coin to your Witcher. Copyright. Whoever wrote the song. Yeah, so that's why we named it Toss a Coin to Your Podcast, because actually no, it wasn't only my idea. It was actually Techie's idea. Completely Techie's idea to do this whole podcast, and I was really on board because again, I love The Witcher. I cosplay the main character. He's done it. He did a nice little version for a book dress up one day at his workplace. He looks really good, by the way.
Thank you.
Really good. He did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honest opinion with this series, with these 2 episodes, this was a good. These first 2 episodes were both good.
It really,
introduction.
it really
Yeah.
sets up the story for what we're
It
going.
really
from
does set
here.
up the story. Yeah, it sets up the story very well, and it keeps you interested. It does get a bit taxing, I think, between the 3rd and the 4th episode, but it gets more interesting as well. You've got to hang in there.
Well, the 4th episode is where it gets really confusing.
Yeah, because the timeline does not link up until the
They
final
don't show
episode.
anything to do with timeline, so you're just all thinking that everything that you're seeing is taking place at the same time when it's not.
It's not. It's all.
And you
actually,
find
it's
that out
all,
in episode 4.
Exactly. You find it all out in episode 4 when you see Geralt in the Kingdom of Sintra. And I think you were telling me, so you're like, hang on, what's Geralt doing here? Like, you're supposed to be dead. Isn't this kingdom meant to be in shambles and burning? Why is everybody here? You fucking died. The king's dead. He had an arrow go through his eyes. You know, the queen jumped out a window. Most of the staff there are dead. Why is Geralt here? What the hell is going on?
Yep. But we'll get to that in episode 4.
We will, guys. Damn. Honest opinion of these first episodes. I'll give my rating for the first episode. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
I give it a 10. Purely because it sets up the story. And it really just grabs you in. Literally, when it dropped, you know me, and you did the same. As soon as it dropped, I binged it. I didn't go to sleep that night. I waited for the whole season to finish.
I actually watched the first 5 episodes, and then I stopped because it was about 3 a.m. and I went to bed. And then 2 days later, I then binged the last episodes, and I loved it. I reckon it was a good break to have because I like to do that. But it was good. It was really good. It's a great series, and I'm just excited for season 2, man. I'm excited for when it finally drops because I'm gonna watch it.
It's about time too. Like, it was 2019. It's now been 2 years.
Is in 2021, and considering the pandemic really stopped a lot of production, it shut Hollywood down for ages.
But even then, though, we were supposed to be getting this in 2021. They announced that right at the end of 2019.
And now we're getting it in 2021, and it's towards the end of 2021. And you know what? I am 100% on board. I am.
So am I.
Yeah. Holy crap, guys! This was great. First episode, well, actually, 3rd episode. We're finally talking about our our thoughts on the series 1 of The Witcher. Good thing is we don't really have to watch the series again because me and Techie have a really good memory of how the episodes actually happen. So
the fact that we constantly just go back and start to watch it because you're like, I've missed that world. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this world so much, and it's just such an interesting world to get invested in. Holy crap, guys! I'm really, really tired. I have an early start tomorrow. I know Techie does as well. Sadly, we both do. And we got to wrap this puppy up and then take it in and get gold for it. So, Techie, hit us up with those social links so people can find us.
So you can follow us here at the Techie and Talent Show on our TikTok, where we have been uploading a lot of stuff when it's breaking news and we don't have time to do a show. We're also live right now on Facebook, so go follow us here.
Hello,
also
guys.
On our YouTube channel.
Yep,
at the Techie and Talent Show, where we are also live right now, and you can go back and watch our previous episodes of Toss a Coin to Your Podcast or the Techie and Talent Show. Plus, we are also live on Twitch at the Techie and Talent Show. Also on our Instagram here at the Techie and Talent Show. Plus, finally, our Twitter at Talent_show.
And our Spotify as well, so you can actually listen back to a lot of our podcasts, our talks. If you can't actually watch the video, you can just listen to it on the go. Great for when you're traveling, great for when you're driving in the car, or great when you're just going for a walk.
That's right.
It's good for that. Yeah. Holy crap, guys, this is good.
Yeah. So until then, we will let you guys know when episode 4 will drop. It might be Sunday.
Yep, we'll be back for our normal show tomorrow morning. God, yeah, tomorrow morning. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We'll be back for our show tomorrow night at the same time at 8:30. And we've got a lot to cover in that. We've got a bunch of things to cover, and can't wait to cover them for you guys.
Can't wait. Until then, my name's Techie.
And my name is Talon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.